in terms of work ethic, I feel like that first rigging job really taught me like the value of a hard day's work, because there'll be days I'll start at 9 o'clock in the night and then finish at like 7 in the morning.
Wow.
And like when you come from that, you sort of just understand like anything less than that's easier. So it sort of just gave me like the mentality to go forward with things, like put in the hard yards basically.
What's going on, people? Welcome back to the Blackprint, providing aspiring black entrepreneurs and business owners the blueprint to start your success story. I'm your host, Spaney, and today I'm joined by a very special guest.
Thank you.
But before we get into all of that, if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. If you're listening on Apple Music, please, I'm going to need that 5-star rating if that's possible. That's all I need. And if you listen on Spotify, please hit that follow button. Right, I've got a couple other messages that I need to get out actually before we start, because I was just explaining to my guest today that I've been terrible at doing this. So guys, as we know from Goodman Malik's episode, he very kindly blessed you guys, that is the Blackprint listeners, with a 15% discount code on any Goodman Factory capsule. So if you want 15% off any beard oil and a wooden hair comb, then head over to goodmanfactory.com, put all that stuff in your basket, and make sure you use discount code TBP21 at checkout, right? And also for my football fans, got my top on today. I'm repping my team today. Jesus. I was just telling Kai I timed this interview so bad because we're playing in half an hour. So forgive me if I rush you for you.
Yeah, no, do you. I understand the feeling.
But for all my football fans out there, I do have a football podcast, weekly football podcast out there as well. It's called the Top Bins Pod. So make sure you check us out on Instagram, Spotify, Apple Music, all that good stuff. Right. All of that good stuff out the way. Guys, Today I am joined by Kai Edwards.
Thank you. It's an honour to be here.
I appreciate you coming down, man. Especially more so after you told me where the hell you came from.
Yeah, it's a bit of a journey still. Yeah, all the way from Romford.
Romford,
yeah.
I tried to put on my best Ian Sterling voice there, but that didn't quite work.
No, it takes practice.
Yeah, I think it does. You're right. Yeah. But hey, I mean, the sun is shining today.
Yeah, beautiful day. I wasn't complaining about travelling because I was like, I'm getting outside.
Yeah,
especially this time.
Wow, glorious today. I'm actually hot sitting here now. All these lights and stuff. Damn, I'm gonna have to turn this stuff off. I wish we could open the door, but then the mics will start picking up all the background noise from outside and stuff. Yeah, we can't. Sound control, right? But Kai, again, thank you very much for coming down today.
Yeah, no problem, man.
So for those who don't know who you are, what you do, well, I haven't actually said, Kai actually co-founded RM Collective. So if you could kindly talk us through who you are and what RM Collective is and what they do.
Right, so in relation to RM Collective, I'm the lead producer and director of photography of RM Collective, and we are a team of 4 audiovisual technicians and creatives who collaborate with independent artists to create high quality online content.
Nice.
And yeah, from there, that's where we are at the moment. Then we got some stuff to go forward with.
Nice. And so, as you know, I like to unpick the stories of my guests and how they got to where they are. So we'll start from the start, as they say. We'll start from the start. So, how long have you been doing this for?
RM Collective has been about for a year, but I've been working in the industry for about 3 years now.
3 years, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're quite young. I remember I asked you. You're quite young, man. Damn.
Only 23.
Yeah, you got time when you're calm. Yeah. So okay, cool. So you've been working in the industry for 3 years, and RM Collective has been going about for a year.
For a year, yeah.
So before going into the industry, then. Presumably you kind of did you study this type of thing? Was you kind of always geared towards this way?
Yeah, I went to university and done film production, but before that I was at college doing a bunch of different media subjects. So yeah, it's been a while I've been around the industry, but only recently I've been sort of like getting into honing my craft a bit, let's say, because at the start it was like I want to be in the industry, but I don't know what role I want to do in the industry. Okay. So like most people, when they first think of film, they're like, oh, I want to be a director because it's the nicest sounding one. But when going through university and college, I realized I don't like dealing with actors, so I can't be a director. But instead, I learned that I love dealing with the technology. So I've veered more towards the technician and operating side of it. And then, it's the Untitled Collective.
Nice. What was it about actors you didn't like?
Egos.
Really?
If a person... Well... With any actor, you're going to get ego, and it takes a special sort of person to be able to deal with it on a consistent basis. And I learned very quickly I haven't got that patience with them. So instead of like putting myself through the stress to learn to deal with them, people have decided to like veer into a different role in the industry.
Yeah,
where I can express my creativity better.
Yeah. So, presumably then there's always been a passion for this kind of side of things.
Yeah.
So where did that passion come from?
Well, basically, like when I was younger, my old man, me and him watched countless amount of films. Like me and him had the type of relationship where like, because my parents are not together, every time I went and saw him, we go and watch a film as the first thing we do. We go to cinema, watch a film. And then I think he sort of clocked on that I was starting to like take like visual notes of how stuff is made. Because when I was younger, when I got like my first camera, I started like playing around with it, trying to recreate stuff. And then it sort of just went from there. And then I'll say it was like year 11 where I decided that, no, I want to do this as a job. Because, you know, when they get you to do work experience in like year 10, like I saw my mates doing like retail and all that. And then my dad was very, very like... stern of it. It's like, no, I'm going to try and find you something where you can like get a taste of the industry.
Something actually useful.
Yeah. So I remember I did some running on a film set when I was like 14 years old. That's probably the youngest person I've ever seen on that set. But from then I just learned, this is the environment I want to be in, because it's hard work, proper hard work, but you meet great people and like you always feel like you're doing something what's leading to something. Like it doesn't feel dead end at all. So that's where I sort of grabbed the love for it, really.
Nah, nice. And that's sick that your dad was helping you or pushing you in that direction for work experience.
Yeah.
Bro, my work experience was in a pharmacy.
No, because I remember like I think it's just a thing of black parents, really. Like they ask you what you want to do from when you're like 13, and like I had no idea until like every time my dad used to pick me up from my mum's to be like, so what do you want to do then when you grow up? I don't know. It's like, well, we could do some lawyers, we could do this, we could do that, and then I was just like, I don't like the sound of that. Like, I'm not a formal person in regards to when like formal occupations like accounting and finance, all that stuff. Like I'd rather leave that to other people. So yeah, like when it came to media, I was just like, I felt comfortable there. So yeah, like I remember just saying to my dad, "No, there's something I want to do," and he had friends who worked in media, so he was just like, he started like linking me with them and give me good insight into what it's like, and then it sort of just went from there.
Nice. I think a good point from that then is the power of networking again.
Exactly. There's so much power in networking.
Yeah, and how your dad was able to hook you up with the opportunities through his network. Nah, that's nice. And so year 11 is when you decided. You actually said, this is what I want to do. So I guess from then kind of going into college and university, as you said, then you specifically picked your subjects around that.
Yeah.
Which I think it's a very good position to be in, because not many people know what they want to do at like A-levels or whatever.
I remember like my teachers and all that, they were saying to me, you're putting all your eggs in one basket.
Really?
But some of them were like, yeah, go for it. And some of them was like, you need to consider like other ventures just in case things will happen. But in my head, I was like, there's no other way. There's no other way. I need to go for something I enjoy, because I want to be waking up to go to work and be excited for work rather than be, shit, I got work. So that's what sort of spurs me on with it, really.
Nice. And so in uni then, how... Obviously, you've got now real world experience, if you like, from it. So how different was the uni course to real life experience, if that makes sense?
Very different.
Is it?
Very, very different. But I think when I went to uni, I was in the mindset that I want to come out of uni with a good enough real like examples of work to show to people so I can get a job. Because I knew from the start, like, you're not getting a job in industry without having the good real, like good examples of your work. So that was more of a priority to me. So it was sort of like a clear path when I was at uni, but obviously there was bumps in the way. Like I remember when I went into uni, I wasn't sure which discipline I wanted to go under, but then once I realised, it's behind camera, I sort of just like went on a straight direction from there. It's like, all right, cool, I need to get some videos what are to this certain level of quality, so now I can be able to show it to certain people when I leave uni. So that's what helps with it.
Nice. And so just where you say you didn't know what kind of discipline you wanted to kind of specialize in, should I say? for me and for other people who may not necessarily know what is actually out there, what other disciplines are there within the space then?
Well, like as I mentioned before, directing is usually what people think like is the big thing with it. But then you also have producing, you have sound, you have camera, you have grip, which is just like putting up rigs and all that.
Oh, is it?
And then like it's just there's little small ones like costume design as well, but it was camera what sold it to me from the start. Yeah.
And you mentioned earlier that you got your first camera when you were younger for...
Yeah, my first bad camera. Let's not get twisted. I wasn't walking around with like some of $1,000 camera. This was like a £100 camera what I saved up for like months. And
Really?
I was thinking, when I got it, I was like, oh yeah, I'm the shit. And then like a year later, I was like, oh right, that's why it's so cheap. They're not cheap things, cameras, you know. Honestly,
Yeah, no, I've seen like some of these red cameras are like 35 grand or something.
Yeah. I have to deal with them at work. They're
Really?
Yeah. They're very complicated pieces of kit.
Wow.
But
So you actually operate them?
learning to operate them.
Yeah.
Well, Reds I'm learning, but other systems I know how to use like Arose, Canon, Sony's I know how to use.
Yeah. Nice. And so when you got your first camera, then you said you were kind of going out and you were what type of things were you doing with it? Were you experimenting with at the time?
Skateboard videos.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Well, nothing big. I remember it was just like me and a couple of my mates. We used to skate around on the weekends, like after school and all that. And then when I got my camera, they were like, "Yeah, bring it out. Let's just record some stuff." And I remember that's how I sort of like learned what video editing was because I had no clue what it was before. And then like we recorded a couple of videos, I cut them together, and then I got joy just showing them from my mates. Didn't even put them on YouTube, just show them to people. Yeah. It's just a hobby really, but I didn't realize it was gonna turn into my my main objective in life. But yeah.
How old were you when you got the camera then?
Oh, I think I was 15 when I got that camera. Yeah, but that was
even before then. Probably around the same time.
Around the same time, yeah. Because I remember like the camera wasn't worth like £100. I got it for £100 because it was second hand. It was on my dad's friend who sold it to me.
The network again.
Yeah. But I remember I bought that and there was a little handheld, like the little handheld ones. Yeah, like it was just one of those. But from there I just realised, I'm enjoying this. It's a
nice. And so you started off with a lot of the skateboarding videos for your friends and stuff like that.
Yeah, just messing about, nothing serious.
Yeah.
Really.
So still thinking before we come onto RM Collective, right? So still thinking before all of this.
Yeah.
So did it kind of progress from the skateboarding videos from your friends after that to kind of maybe a couple paid gigs or were you still kind of learning at that point?
Yeah, I was still learning. I remember because I went these were my friends from secondary school. Then I went to college and then started hanging with a whole new network of people. And then from there, I was like in college, I had to make like little videos for my courses. So I was sort of like getting practice through that. But then I went through a phase where I wasn't like doing it in my spare time. I was more, because I had college, I was more focused towards doing it then. And then when I went to uni, that's when I started like making stuff on the side, really. Okay. Yeah, it started growing from there because I felt like I was more proficient with everything and I actually understood what I was doing more. So so it got a bit easier from then.
Yeah, nice. And so what in uni then? What was the first kind of? Do you remember the first production that you made for somebody? In if that makes sense.
Yeah, I was. I remember because like uni is like loads of people networking all the time, and I remember there was one of the people in my course. He came up to me and said, "Do you want to come to an event and film like some rappers?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." Went there. And proper enjoyed it. Got brought onto the stage to like record a rapper from behind him. Like it was just like one of those cypher nights, innit? Like where just people come on and jump on, and just I was like, I'm enjoying this, yeah. Like, and then I sent one of the rappers the footage, and he was like, "Yeah, do you want some money for this?" He gave me like, it wasn't big money. It was like 50 quid, but still like from then I was like, oh, there's money to be made from this, because like that was quite simple. All I did was just like follow the guy around while he was spitting. Like it barely needs to be edited, but the guy liked it. So I think that sort of just set off a spark. I was like, oh right, there's money to be made in this. And
nice. And so that was in uni. Presumably more of the same kind of similar stuff like that while you were in uni and obviously doing your course and stuff like that, right? Like because
the course like required us like our tasks weren't like, oh, you have to write this amount of stuff or do this. It'll be like, all right, here's a subject, go and make a film about it. Okay. So, or here's a genre, go and make a film about it. So it sort of like left you on your toes, really. Got you using creative juices to like sort of make something like to your vision, really. Yeah,
that's actually fair, because I guess I'll come onto this when we do discuss RM Collective, because I was going to ask about the kind of how much of it is your creative kind of, I guess, original content versus what you're being hired to do and produce type of thing. But we'll come on to that.
So,
Okay, cool. So university, you're getting all this experience, you're getting a good exposure, you're starting to realize, or you've realized what it is that you like within the space. You then decide, obviously you finish uni and you're going to go get your first job, right?
Yeah. So this is the interesting part actually, because I remember when I finished uni, initially I couldn't find a job because it was very difficult to get your foot in the door. And I remember it was leading up to when I finished, I was emailing the first company I worked for when I left uni, and still wasn't getting responses, all that. So I had to do you know what rigging is? Like building stages basically. So I was like going to like the O2 and like taking down stages or putting them up, and hard work, like night shifts and everything. But I remember, I think it was like 2 months into that job, I got an email saying, come in for an interview for the company I worked for before now. And in my head, I was like, all right, this is time. You have to smash this interview because this can lead to something. And then, from there, I got that job. And then,
Nice. So what was it you were doing there?
What, at the first place?
The first place, yeah.
Yeah, well, there, I was more of inventory. So I was just like looking over like all the kit we get in, like seeing if there's anything wrong with it and all that. And then, I sort of just got bored of that job. Like it was a bit of a distance as well, because like I told you, I'm coming from Romford. That job was in Wembley. So, so that was like an hour and a half there, hour and a half back. Had to be there for like 8 a.m. each morning. Tough hours, proper tough hours. But eventually I just got fed up of that place, and then my timing was on point in all fairness. So I left that place, and then 2 weeks later, the next place where I worked came up. But it was that initial first job because it was quite a reputable company. Yeah. So that stuck out on the CV. So if any advice I'll give to people who are trying to get into industry is like, try and get a good name on your CV, like as your first one. It doesn't matter what the role is, because like I said, I was already doing inventory there. But then because I had that name, when it came to the company I work for now, they hired me on as a proper technician, because all they had to ask me was like, do I know about this kit and am I willing to learn? And I was like, yeah. So it was quite straightforward from there.
Yeah, no, nice. The power of again, because this is something that was touched on I think an episode with Emmanuel. We were discussing the importance of learning what you can from the environment that you're in, regardless of the environment or the role or whatever it is you're doing. There's always something that you can learn from it, right?
Exactly, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, no, that's sick. All right, cool. So then you went to the second place and you went on as a proper technician, you said, yeah? So then that was more so kind of first-hand experience in terms of what it is you wanted to do now.
Yeah, of course, because it was a completely different work environment. Well, I'm still working there now, but it's a completely different work environment because it's a smaller amount of people. But the main thing what highlights me is that way more black people working there. Like when I walked in, I was just like, oh my god, I feel like I'm at home at this place. Like the top guy, like one of the top guys there, he's been in the industry for so long, and he's from Caribbean descent, and it gave me hope when I hear him like call up companies and they know him by name, and then they call up where I work, and they're asking for him in particular, and it sets such a good example for me that it sort of just spurred me on. And it's like, it gave me motivation to start stuff like RM Collective, because fortunately with this company, they let me rent equipment for free from them.
Really?
Yeah, because I work for them, they let me rent equipment for free. But
that is sick.
They were saying like, it's because I have the willingness to with my projects. They're like, why wouldn't we give you the equipment? Because you're actually going to go do something with it. So it's about having that motivation, I guess, in front of them to like be able to get those things.
No, that's sick. I think as well because I guess what I'm thinking in regards to what you just said, right, and something that you touched on earlier as well, actually, when you were saying obviously the parents would be like, oh, we need more lawyers and all this type of stuff. So I'm an accountant as in my 9 to 5, right, and I'm just thinking, if I was to ever tell them, oh, I want to, they're not going to go give me contracts that I could just give to other people. Do you get what I mean? They're going to try to suppress that. Tell me, no, you can't do this. Do you get what I mean? So that's sick that they're like, no, you can borrow the equipment, you can go off and you can do your own thing on the side type of thing. Yeah,
but I feel like it's only happened because when I first joined that company, I made sure to build a good relationship with each person there. Like, I wasn't coming in thinking, oh, I'm like, I just come out of uni and I've been in this job and that job and I'm like the shit, basically. I wasn't like that. I was humble as fuck when I came in. I was just like, because they got me in saying that they want me to do lighting, and I was like, it's a job, I'll take it. Like, I'm learning how to use this equipment now. And then they noticed me veering towards the camera side, and they're like, oh, you know about these cameras? Like, yeah. Then I showed a willingness to learn even more from there. And then when it came to my personal stuff, it was like a good like 2-3 months of working there. I went up to my boss and was like, yeah, this is what I do in my spare time, and I was wondering if I can borrow equipment. And he was just like, well, yeah, like you're doing something with yourself, like it needs to be used, so might as well, as long as no one else is using it, take it. So it's quite blessed. It's a very blessed position.
Yeah, no, that's that is sick, man.
Yeah,
like I said, no, that's amazing. Then okay, cool. So from the kind of even the very first role where you're doing up the rigs and stuff at I think you mentioned O2, you said,
yeah,
when you're doing up the rigs at O2 to the first role, to when you're doing inventory to this role now where you're technician. What kind of, it's gonna sound like quite a weird question because obviously particularly this role now is quite directly related, but what have you learned in terms of skills wise or even from behind the scenes type of stuff that you've now been able to transition into what you're doing now or what you're trying to achieve with RM Collective?
Oh, that's a good question. Technically, when it comes to our shoots, like from what I've learned from what we've been doing, is how like what you need to do to make things look professional. Basically, like how important lighting is, like camera position, all that. But in terms of work ethic, I feel like that first rigging job really taught me like the value of a hard day's work, because I was there'll be days I'll start at 9 o'clock in the night and then finish at like 7 in the morning.
Wow.
And like when you come from that, you sort of just understand like anything less than that's easier. So it sort of just gave me like the mentality to go forward with things, like put in the hard yards basically. And then from the first job, I think it taught me good business applications, because I know like it was a way more bigger company, so I sort of got to see how a big business works from the inside, and it taught me how to like interact with people in a professional manner more. Because like the rigging job, like the people who I was working with was my age, like just people from working class backgrounds, my age, like just going in to get a day's work done. But the second company was like people from all different backgrounds, and like I sort of had to adjust my rapport to like to be able to work with them basically.
Nah, nice. Well, all right, cool. So we'll come into RM Collective and how that came about. Yeah. But before we do that, at the rigging job at O2, what was like the biggest show that you had to rig up?
Well, the biggest one wasn't at O2, it was at the Olympic Stadium, and that was I think it was Beyonce when she was doing something there. Didn't meet her. No. Actually, no, it wasn't before. It was after. So we're taking everything down. I remember because you know the size of the Olympic ground pitch, right? Yeah. So they had all these panels going across the pitch. We had to lift them all up one by one. Wow. That was a 9-hour job. Yeah, just like wow. It was like 3 teams of people just like lifting up these panels. It was long, back-breaking work. But I
was gonna say, because I mean, I've always gathered that a lot of work goes into the pre-production and the actual putting the things up. But hearing you,
see, I didn't realize as well until I done it, man. Like, I was thinking, it must be easy. They must come like a day before or something. No, they're prepping for like a week before this thing.
I can't remember whose concert it was, but I saw like a time lapse video of somebody. It must have been Drake, because I mean, for a long time Drake was my favorite artist, and obviously I've seen him like every time he's performed type of thing. But I think I saw a time lapse video of them putting up his stage. Yeah, it just looks so long.
It is proper long. Yeah, loads of people you need for it as well.
Yeah, I can imagine.
It surprised me. Honestly, it proper surprised me when I first done it.
Yeah, well, boy. That's good stuff though, and as you said, obviously you learn a lot from the experience and stuff.
Yeah, like back-breaking work, but like you have to do that stuff to realize what hard work is. I feel like it was a good experience for me. But I'm not complaining about it.
Nah, good stuff. All right, cool. So RM Collective, talk to me. How did that come about then?
Right. So, as I said before, I have 4 business partners. Now, one of them is a very experienced editor. Like he's fully qualified, and I've known him since college. He was on the links I built at college, and I've always had a good relationship with him and his family. And then he went off to uni to do film as well. And his parents decided that they wanted to build a studio for us to use. And I think it was like the first year the studio was made, like we were in there, and we were always we were doing like side projects for people. Like we made some videos for some dog breeders, we made some music videos for singers, and then we were thinking, we want to do something what's actually us, like, because this problem came with the singers really, because a lot of musicians, when they approach video makers, they sort of just say, I want to make a video, and then you're like, yeah, what do you...
What
do you want? Like, they think that you're gonna think it all up, and like sometimes we had to, but then it got to the point like when we sort of identified that problem, we were just like, you know what, let's make a platform where they don't have to think about it, and they come and we tell them what we want to do, and then they just guess. So initially it started with our flagship project, the interview, where it's like oh God, I'm completely ruining my pitch. But basically, a DJ comes on, performs a 20-minute set, one take, and we've got 3 different cameras from 3 different angles, so it gets a nice, crisp, professional look to it. And then from there, we had our first episode, and we got the right feedback from it, so then we started adding on to it. And then I think we got into like episode 2, and we were like, no, we need to make this a business, because we were starting to think of other projects, what can now feed off of this. So we... founded RM Collective as a business. We registered it as a limited company. Limited company. And then went from there and then started getting in guests for the interview. And now we're on episode 7 of that. Obviously, COVID happened because like initially we were planning to get 20 episodes done in a year. But COVID happened, so now we're only on episode 7. But what spurs us on is that each episode we upload, we get more we're gathering more subscribers, we're getting more views, and we tend to notice, especially when it's people we don't know, like DJs we don't know we've got on, we tend to get like even bigger like interactions with the videos. So then we've then drafted in the other 2 members of the company, who one's a 3D digital artist and one's an audiovisual artist. And we went from there. We've started drafting up other projects, which we're going to start going forward with in the next month or 2. And then, went from there, basically. Like, nice. We through the interview, we can't monetize it because copyright music. So then from the new projects we're making, that's going to be what we're going to be going towards, more monetizable content, basically, where we can use our own stuff.
Nice. That's sick. And so, so the interview is it's a series of it's a series.
Yeah, it's a series.
And DJs come on and they do the 20-minute sets and stuff. Is it like a competition or showcasing their talent?
Well, yeah, it's showcasing their talent. But we've said to every DJ is that once we get past a certain amount of episodes and subscribers, we're gonna run a user poll where we're gonna get our subscribers to vote in their favorite ones. Then hopefully we can then host an event where we get the top voted DJs in and we get them to perform. Yeah. So yes.
Nice. I've actually had a similar idea of that. So
well, I hit the iron where it's hot.
We can bounce ideas off each other there. Then and you said one of the guys in it is an audio visual artist. Yeah. What is that?
It's hard to explain this, but basically when he does a show, because he also like does his own thing. He integrates like 3D visuals in the backgrounds of his performances, so then it reacts to his music. So then like you can get some really trippy looking like performances just from him DJing, basically. But if you look at any of our recent videos, that's a little plug for it, you will see that we cut in between the footage, we cut in like 3D motion graphics. That's a collaboration between the audiovisual artist and my 3D artist. And then so just make it a bit more interesting, really.
Wow. That's sick.
Very, very useful people, honestly, to have. Very useful people.
I can imagine. And so, okay, cool. And so, just quickly, so for somebody who is listening, do you guys, so presumably you guys provide like videography services for as in RM Collective, you do provide. So just run me through, for the listeners as well, the full kind of list of services that you guys provide if somebody's listening and might need something.
So we provide promotional videos. So we've done work with like barbers and all that, just for social media pages. We do music videos as well. Like I mentioned, that's how it sort of came about, because we were making music videos for people, then we just decided to put our own stamp on it. Like business orientated videos, like we made videos for some dog breeders. Just like if someone has a good project, has clearly like a vision to it, we will consider it. It's not like we'll take anything that comes to us, but it's just like we'll give it a look at least, because like we're all capable of making, if it's video content, we're capable of doing it. We've got the resources available to us. So we don't really try and limit ourselves to particular types of videos.
Yeah.
But yeah, if it's video form, then it can be considered.
Nice. So anybody listening, you need any of those services, hit up your boy
Collective. Yeah.
And he will hook you up with his team at RM Collective. Nice. Okay, so talk to me about then kind of like I wanna tap into kind of any or how you deal with slow days and slow kind of periods where work might not be coming in regards to the business side of things.
This is perfect. Well, we're in perfect time to talk about it. It's like COVID. Like obviously, because COVID stopped us from being able to use our resources available to us, but we take this time to just reflect on what we could do to what we can do to make the business better for when it does come back, basically. So we're very fortunate that we have the studio available to us. Like, we don't have to pay anything on top of it. So that's one thing. So in our spare time, we just draft up new projects. Like, we got I don't want to give too much out, but we have projects that will involve singers and rappers coming up quite soon. And from that, we only thought of that because of COVID, basically, because we had all this time to reflect. And then if you watch our first episode interview compared to our most recent one, there's so many drastic changes in visual style from the first to the most recent. But we only done this because we had COVID, like, get in between those dates. So then we had time to reflect on our content. If we didn't have COVID, I reckon most of our stuff would look like episode 1. Honestly. Really? Yeah, because like the turnover was quick. We were thinking, this is a nice project. All we need to do was set up a couple cameras, put some lights up, and then get a DJ in. But then we were thinking, how can we make it? After a few weeks of like lockdown, we were thinking, how can we make this better? All right, let's try put a projector in the background and get some visuals on it. And then from there, we were like, all right, now that looks better. How do we make it even more better? Well, maybe we should cut some of the visuals we put in the background and put it into the actual edit. So then when someone comes and watches a video, they don't just minimize and keep the music on. They're like, no, I actually want to watch it. You want
to see the visuals.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, nice. And what would you say has been like the most, maybe not technical is the right word to use, but what's been the most interesting project you've worked on?
That's hard to say, really, because what, personally or through it, or just RM? Personally, we'll have to go back to my uni days, because like my final major projects, we decided to go to Iceland to film to make a 5-minute sci-fi film, and that was probably the most interesting thing I've gone out of shot. Yeah, most stressful thing I've done, but it was a very, very eye-opening experience. Like, it's a beautiful country. Like, sometimes you just need experiences like that to like open your eyes to things.
I can imagine. Did you catch Northern Lights?
Nah, overcast the whole week. Really? Overcast the whole week. We went there for the Northern Lights, and then we got there, and we were just like, we looked at weather reports, and it was like, cloudy for the whole week, and then it started clearing up the day we went. Just to take the days.
Yeah, I've heard that's annoying thing about Iceland, to be fair. You can go. I've not been myself yet. I was meant to, but
most expensive country I've ever been to as well.
Is it expensive?
Yep.
Wow.
£10 for a sandwich. No joke. Not even
that
some.
Sandwich better have
not
even, crust or something.
Not even some prestige sandwich. This was a corner shop at an airport. A tam baguette cost me £10.
Yikes.
But I guess all of them are loaded out there, so I guess that's nothing to them. That's pocket change to them. But it was a lot of adjustment when I got out there, honestly.
Flipping hell.
I had to cook every day. I was like, I'm not paying that much. I'm not paying that much for food. You're joking me, fam.
That's mad. And alright, cool. So what's it like working with 3 other people? Because I think you're actually the first person I've spoken to so far who's not solo.
Yeah, a lot of people do solo ventures.
Yeah.
To be honest,
actually, I lied. Goodman Malik, he has a business partner. I guess that's only one other person, but you've got 3 other people. So what's that like?
Yeah. Well, I remember initially I was thinking, because RM Collective was more the brainchild between me and like my mate, like the first person I got in. But then we sort of realised, like, having more people, you have more constructive criticism, and things have improved the more people we've got on. It's not like we're going to start drafting in people, but I mean, like, the team we have at the moment, I think it's because we've known each other for so long as well. We've known each other all since college, so we sort of get how each other work. But yeah, I think because we have good communication with each other, it's going forward. And if we have a problem with something, we just say it. We don't like let something bad happen and then comment on it. We try and improve things before it goes out. So the whole like cutting the 3D visual things into the edit. That wasn't my idea. That was the 3D designer's idea. And from that, if we didn't have his advice on that, we probably wouldn't have added it. So from what I'm seeing at the moment, I'm loving having like a good circle of people around, because like it doesn't leave it all to me. Like like I can honestly see myself making this. If it was only me, I would have made mistakes with it like way more than I have now. But I feel it's good having more people about.
Nice. And have you had, I know you're saying obviously for the most part it's been, but have you had kind of any disagreements that have kind of been hard to resolve, should I say?
Not hard to resolve. We've had obviously disagreements, but usually it's just in like how the logo should look and stuff like that. Like it's nothing major. No, I can't say I've had any like major problems, but I feel like it's because we know each other so well. Yeah. Because like we've all known each other for like a good 6-7 years now. So and that was before we started the business. So I feel like it's because I have the right people around me. It's good, but if I'm gonna draft in more people, I have to be way more cautious. Yeah. Obviously, way more cautious.
I think that's an interesting point though that you've just raised, because I've had a conversation with someone in the past who has run a business with their friend, and they said that it almost blew the friendship, because they were seeing sides to their friend that they never would have seen previously, because obviously they've not really had a business relationship with them, right? And they were saying that it struggles, so they had to break apart, or they had to.
I feel that's because we tend to know our strengths. Because I remember when we were starting this off, like my friend who's a director and editor, he was saying to me he said to me he wanted me to handle the producing side of it, because I'm good with I'm good with talking to people, but when it comes to the artists we get in, I go out and contact them, because I feel like that's my strength. But then when it comes to anything editing wise, I leave it to him. Like, of course, if I see something I feel like you should make an adjustment to, I mention it to him, but we have the trust to be able to let each other like do what we're strong at, basically. And we don't really question our talents, basically. And I feel like that's what helps, because we all respect each other.
Nice. How is it balancing work and this? Because I can imagine this is obviously very time consuming.
I feel like it helps that my work know what I'm doing, because like if I didn't tell them like what my projects are, I feel like I probably would have given up on our end by now. But because I think my work have a good relationship with my vision, it helps a lot. So when I'm planning a shoot, I start drafting the plan from a month ahead. So so like if we shoot 4 episodes in a day, we don't do like 1 week we film this person, 1 week film this person. We just get 4 DJs in, film 4 episodes in a day, and just get overdone with and leave that to edit. So that sort of leaves us room to like get prepared for it, get the equipment booked, make sure the right people are available to be on set that day. And then so I think it comes from when me and my business partner at uni, we had to start arranging our own film sets and all that, and we realized how stressful it could be if it's underplanned. So we try and plan as much as we can leading up to it, so then it's all on schedule, and we leave time for fuck ups, basically. But
I think that's definitely an important aspect, leaving time.
Preparation is key. Preparation is so key, honestly. Have you had any scenarios where
the preparation wasn't as good as it probably should have been?
The last shoot, actually, the last shoot. I mentioned before we started, we recorded a set, and then it turned out that we didn't press the record button on the DJ side. Like, cameras recorded everything. Like, we got like 5 cameras in that day, recorded everything, and then he almost walked out, and we were just like, we were trying to look for the file, but we couldn't find the file, so we had to chase him down and get him back. And then before that happened, we had a set of turntables, what my friend brings in. We couldn't find the plug for it. Oh gosh! So before the first DJ came, another member, one of the 4 members of RM, had to get in a cab and go and get his decks and come back. And he got there maybe like 10 minutes before the DJ turned up. Wow! We were all pulling our hair out, like we're getting so stressed, because we were just like, we've organised for this time, now we're gonna overrun. But stressful days gonna happen. Like, you're gonna have to be prepared for them, because if you're not prepared to deal with stressful days, then give it up, because you're gonna have stressful days. It's never easy at all.
No, it's true. I definitely had something like that as well, because before, I've mentioned a couple of times, but before I launched the Blackprint, I had actually got 6 episodes recorded, ready. Just like, okay, cool. I'm going to launch. I have them on scheduled release dates, 1 week apart from each other. Perfect.
Yeah.
Bro, the night before the first episode was meant to drop, my hard drive fails. I'm like, rah.
You have to back up your stuff, man. Basically. Yeah, that's...
Don't get me wrong. I'm now patterned now. You will not catch me slipping now.
But it takes like, something like that to show you, innit?
Well, this is the thing,
because people don't understand how fragile that stuff is,
Yeah.
really. Because you can lose it in seconds, honestly.
And it was mad. But oh my god, the funny thing is, so one of the episodes I had to re-record. I've re-recorded 2 of the episodes so far, so they're already out. So that's Goodman Malik and Zalika Jones, right? The episodes that eventually went live were re-records, right? Because I lost the original footage. But bless Zalika, she was so understanding. But on the day that I went to go re-record Zalika's episode, I'm on my way to go meet her. I left good timing, perfect. I'm all on my way. Bro, I got about halfway there. She's about an hour away, right? I got about, because I went to her office, about halfway there. I realised, you see this part here connected to the Mac? Connected to the interface,
Yeah.
I left this at home.
So what do you have to do? Run back?
Bro, I had to go back.
I
had to.
I had no choice.
So I literally just had to call her up straight. I said, Zalik, I'm so sorry. I know I've got you back here again to re-record this for the second time, but I'm now going to be about 15-20 minutes late. But she was so understanding anyway. But you're right, these things, they do happen.
Especially when it comes to video production, like that it's just a thing that comes hand in hand. Like, because if it's not like a hard drive, it's like a card on the sound recording device doesn't work or something like that. Because I remember I realized like certain sound devices can only take a certain amount of storage. I remember once I went to a shoot. This wasn't with RM, but I went to a shoot and I brought the cards what I thought were right. Guy gave me the sound device and I couldn't record the sound onto it. I was just like, what the fuck did you do? I had to go. We had to like get the person who's coordinated shoot to give us some money to go and get a card for it. But like I think like that was sort of expected because even when I'm at work now at my main job, you hear people calling up saying, "Oh, we forgot this," or "They forgot something." And it's more like, all right, cool, we'll go and sort it out. Like, people are sort of adjusted to that stress what it brings. Because when you're dealing with so much technology, there's something that's bad to happen. Yeah,
nah, for real. Technology, Can't live without it. Well, you can't live, you know what I'm trying to say.
Can't
necessary evil right now.
Yeah, probably necessary evil.
But, hey, all right, so you, I guess kind of in line with what we've just been discussing about kind of preparation or lack thereof sometimes. You also mentioned your strengths. You feel like kind of lying, kind of artist liaising and stuff like that, right? Yeah. So talk to me about some of your weaknesses then. I feel like that's an interview question, isn't it?
Yeah.
So talk to me about some of your weaknesses.
I feel like a job interview now. God, it's hard. I feel like it's hard to like list out someone's weaknesses because
So what do you feel? Okay, let's not necessarily say weaknesses. What do you feel you could do or have more of from a business perspective then, in terms of whether it's public speaking or whether it's negotiation?
That's one of them actually. Negotiating, I feel like it's one of the strengths actually, because just like, well, you just try and see if both parties can come to a compromise, really. But public speaking, that's definitely one of them. It's something I've got better over time. But before, if it was like, I remember when I first started working, like even when I was working in retail, like at the start, I'll be like, I can't. It's like you have to introduce yourself. It's like, hi, I'm Kai. But now I feel way more confident with people. But yeah, it's something I'm definitely working on. Like it's something I want to get good at as well, especially when you're leading a business. Like you never know when you have to who you have to pitch in front of, like how many people you have to pitch in front of. Because like it's like I was mentioning before, like one of the goals is that we run events through RM. So that will probably lead to me hosting the events. So that public speaking is definitely something I want to work on. And then I think it's more general business knowledge, because my business is quite new, so I've got a lot to learn, like what kind of procedures I have to go through and everything. But I feel like because we're taking it slow with this process, like it's leaving time to learn. So I feel like that's it really.
Nice. And if you could go back to any point in kind of your journey so far, is there anything you change that you've experienced along the way, or that you did along the way?
Just have to think back a bit now. Well, it's hard to say with RM because like, I'm enjoying the learning process I'm going through. Like the worst I can say is like, oh, at the first video, start doing the stuff we did in the last video. But I feel like at the start, I wish we sort of outsourced to more artists we didn't know initially, because I feel like that would have given us a better start, because our channel's still quite small. But we see our biggest gains when we draft in people who have no connection to us at all. So maybe at the start, appealing to more like unknown people would have been a bit more beneficial. But RM Collective, honestly, I'm enjoying every minute of doing it. So I can't really think of anything. I can't think of anything in particular I would do again. But like every client, every person we've worked with had a good experience. So I'm sure that'll change in a year or so. But
give it time.
Yeah, give it time.
Still in
the
what's it called, the honeymoon period?
Yeah, exactly. It's literally that honeymoon period through COVID. So
touche. But so talking about the this kind of current global pandemic we find ourselves in.
Yeah.
How have you personally fared throughout it? As in personally, mentally, how have you dealt with the situation?
I don't want to sound bad, but I've thoroughly enjoyed this time. Honestly,
really?
Well, not thoroughly enjoyed it, obviously, because it's quite tragic what's going on in society at the moment. But this has given me time to like proper concentrate on what I wanted to develop.
Yeah.
Like I've always had like a great passion for like exercise, and it's always been a big thing in my family as well. So that initial first lockdown when I was stuck at home, I was just training all the time. I loved it. It was like one of the best times of my life. But also like reading a lot of books. I've been reading like Jordan Belford. I've been reading like his name Erman Hall. Like a lot of financial books, basically trying to get myself a bit more financially savvy. Be getting into investing a bit, so extend my personal portfolio. Basically just developing things where I feel like needed to be strengthened in that spare time. Yeah. It's been good to have that time to myself as well. It's a good time to get away from technology as well, because when you're in the hustle and bustle all that time, like you don't realize how addicted you are to that thing there. Like honestly, on the train, like when I go to work before, I used to just be on my phone from minute one, listen to music and all that, and then having lockdown, the time to be like, oh no, I can go and like go for walks and stuff and like get some time to myself. It's been good development time, honestly.
Yeah, nice. I think that's definitely a good way of looking at it. I think in this situation is a lot of winners and losers have come out of it, and when I say that, I mean in terms of I've noticed a lot of people who feel sorry for themselves and are like, this situation is
exactly.
Do you get what I mean? And they've kind of just been doing whatever at home, and that's fair enough. Do you get what I mean? But then also there's been another side of people that, okay, no, I've now got time to learn how to invest, develop a skill, to do this and kind of add value to themselves, which I think is the way I've tried to look at things, and I think it's definitely an important way of being able to do that. And credit to you for being able to do that.
It was more of like from a mental health free, because I'm quite a proactive person. So there's days when I didn't have anything to do, I was going absolutely mad, and then I feel like that's what made me discover my area a bit more as well, because like I didn't realize how many country parks were around my area. Like for the walks I had, the time I had to go on walks, basically just helped me discover things really.
Nice. And you mentioned Jordan Belford just now, and earlier on you mentioned that obviously a lot of part of the bonding that you had with your dad was going to the cinema and stuff like that. So when you said that, it made me think about a question, which now that you mentioned Jordan Belford, it's probably a good time to ask it. But what is your favourite film?
To anyone in the industry, they'll know this is the worst question you can ask. It's really hard to say. Like, if I was talking about like films, what I've always loved, I have to say like Enter the Dragon and all that, like the Bruce Lee films. I've been obsessed with Bruce Lee films since I was a kid, basically. But then there's films like the classic Scorsese ones, like Goodfellas, like perfect film. But yeah, it's hard to boil it down. Like, better off asking, like, well, I would say better off asking me a top three, but that's even hard to answer, really. But at the moment, what was the film? Well, no, at the moment, my favourite thing I recently watched is that Pele documentary they just put on Netflix. That is brilliant, honestly.
I haven't watched that yet.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. There's also a good Maradona one that's on Channel 4 as well. So yeah,
No,
I think that's shown like my obsession with football coming through as well. Like, it's like it's putting the two things I love the most, film and football. Like it's
Clearly,
great.
you can't be that obsessed with football if you decided to support Arsenal. But we won't,
Firing shots like that, you know.
we won't go into that one.
Wow, yeah. Maybe I have to come to the sports podcast to go and come at you with that one. Jesus Christ, shooting shots, you know.
Okay, so probably a slightly different, similar but different question. Then. What film have you watched that you've like? I would have loved to have been a part of that production.
So there's a lot of them, you know.
Is it?
Yeah, like if I like Kill Bill, that's a brilliant film because like Kill Bill mixes up like great choreography from the martial arts sections with an enticing story. So I feel like that's like if I was in that set environment, I would have loved it. But yeah, it's hard to say for, like one particular film of that because like most films I enjoy, I'm like I feel like oh yeah, if I was on the set, I would have loved it. Even though if I was probably on the set, I would have been stressed out. But
the behind the scenes stuff that you don't really get to see too often.
Yeah, it's pretty much a stressful job, like stressful environment. So honestly.
So presumably you watch films with like or do you watch films with a almost critical eye then? Yeah,
it pisses my parents off honestly. Like Christmas time, oh my god. Like it's got to the point that if they want to watch a film when I'm in a room, like if it's Christmas time, something like that, it'd be like, "Have you seen this?" No. It's like, do you want to look it up before we watch it? because like if there's like a obvious error, like it was a continuity error, I would pick it out without even like thinking about who's around me. I would just be like, oh no, that doesn't make sense. Or I'll be like, oh, this is gonna happen. Why? Because that's just hinted to it. Because like when you're doing a degree in it, you're just taught to analyze stuff, and it becomes sort of second nature, really.
Yeah. Nah, fair enough. Well, I mean, I'm gonna start coming to you for recommendations now.
God.
Then I'm gonna start. I know if Kyle authorizes it and gets
the Kyle stamp of approval. Get a picture of me, the thumbs up on it or something like that.
It'll be like a which Best Buy, but it'll be like a Kai recommends type of thing.
It's like, do you remember when we had like the Super Nintendo, that like the games had a Nintendo seal of approval? It's like something like that.
You like one of them?
Yeah, major pro, man.
Say that, boy. You've just signed yourself up to hell, mate.
Oh,
That's how I'm gonna be pestering you because I'm the worst when it comes to films. You know, like I genuinely don't actually really tend to like Netflix. I don't really watch something unless it's been recommended. Like, I've generally kind of been like that unless it's been recommended or there's like a sick actor in it. Yeah, do you get what I mean? And when I say sick actor, for me personally, I'm not gonna lie, I'm probably only really talking about Denzel Washington. I'm not. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he's the only sick actor.
Yeah,
but for me, it's like
it's Malcolm X film is probably one of my favorite films. Honestly,
you know, I haven't even seen that.
You haven't seen the Malcolm X one?
Mad. I'm about to cut this part out. You know.
What? That's a wicked film. Honestly, I highly rate. That's first one to watch.
Yeah,
because it's got someone you love in it as well. Like, come on, you have to watch that one. It's a great. It's Spike Lee one, isn't it?
Yeah, say no more. I'll be on that. Oh my gosh. Well, all right, Kai. It's been enjoyable. I can't even get my words out. This has been an enjoyable conversation.
It's been great.
So I appreciate that. But I'm gonna have to ask you a few questions that I ask every guest that comes into the Blackprint, and these are the ones that hopefully people hear this one. The aspiring entrepreneur hears these ones, and they're like, yes, okay, I'm gonna make sure I do this, and I like that answer. So those are the first one. What advice would you give to an aspiring entrepreneur?
Be prepared for people to doubt your vision, but if you've already got the vision and you're already 100% sure of it, you've won half the battle. Because I say that because I remember when I was first pitching RM, like the concepts to people, it would be like a part, like parties where I meet a DJ and stuff like that, and they will say to me, "Oh, I'm not sure like how that work and all that." But in my head, I'm like, I know how exactly it's gonna work, and maybe they didn't understand it through words, but then when I show them the content, suddenly get it. But I think that demonstrates that people don't understand your vision until you've shown it. So before you even consider any doubt, go and make the thing you want to make, and then take constructive criticism. But don't let people saying, "Oh, I don't know if that'll work, or that, or this will work," like put you down. Yeah. But obviously, just keep going forward, and like if you put your effort in, it will happen. It will happen. But be prepared for like bumps in the road. But it's just like being able to overcome it shows your strength, really. And it will help you become a better person, and it'll help your business. Yeah,
no, I like that. That's actually quite relevant as well, because remember I said to you at the start the experience that I had. So that's actually quite relevant piece of advice for me personally, but also very good advice for the listeners as well. And so success for Kai to turn around and say, I've been successful. What would it take? What does success mean to you?
Well, personal standpoint, I don't like to attach any monetary number to it, but I would like to be in a position where I can provide better opportunities for those who come after me than I had available when I was younger. Not saying I came from a bad upbringing or anything like that, but obviously we're gonna have a different opportunities to people who come after us. So basically, it's like having enough like personal wealth to like not be detrimental to myself to be able to provide someone. But in terms of RM Collective, I want it to be a brand where it's recognised as a. I feel like we'll be successful when people see RM Collective as a brand where independent artists come to as maybe their first step or how they break onto the scene is why they do something on RM Collective. I think that's it.
Nah, nice. So, what's next then? What are the next steps? What's your next step that you take towards that success platform?
So with RM Collective, with the interview, we aim to just like get back into production. We've got a shooting day next month, so we're just gonna kick that back into motion, and then we're gonna start moving on with our other projects. And well, I don't want to give too much away, but like I said, one involves rappers, one involves singers, and then from then we hope to reach by the end of the year, say 200 subscribers, and that's a lowball number, but that's where I'll be satisfied. And then from there, we want to get to the point where we're offering merch, where we will have customers available for it, because the person who does a 3D design, he also like does a lot of design with like clothes and all that. So just getting RM to become more of a recognizable brand, I think is the next step, where we're getting people approaching us more as well. I think that's the next step. But from there, the sky's the limit, really. Yeah. Because I think what we've built in the last year is a good like core template for projects to start building off of it, because that's why we called it collective, because it's a collective vision. Like it's not just one single vision going forward. It's like multiple things can come out of this. Yeah.
Nah, nice. Well, I wish you all the best for that.
Thank you.
How many subscribers are you on?
70. Yeah.
So we need to get you to 200 at least.
By the end of the year, then I'll be happy.
Guys,
we can do it.
You know what you have to do.
We can do it.
I'll give you the opportunity to tell us where to go to subscribe very shortly. But then you also just said something that triggered something in me. Oh yeah, your guy that does he needs to hook me up with a hat, bro.
Oh, really?
I've been saying the past couple of weeks on the podcast that I need someone to hook me up with a hat. I guess my viewers will notice I'm not wearing my hat today because I can't wear the same damn hat every week, man. It's getting embarrassing now, bro. So I need to.
Yeah, maybe we'll get you your RM hat, mate.
Yeah. Do that.
Be a plug for us as well.
No, honestly, do that. I need some hats in my locker because that's right. And I've just been lazy. I ain't even cutting my hair, nothing, man.
No, like my hair, like. I know we're in lockdown right now, but my hairline was unexcusable yesterday. Like I had to get a trim yesterday.
I'm not gonna lie, it's actually rude that you would discuss unacceptable hairlines right now. When that's actually rude, bro. I feel offended. I'm not gonna lie.
No, brother. If you saw what I looked like yesterday, you'd be like, nah, yeah, good. You went and sorted it out, man. I had the afro coming from the sides and the afro on the front, man. It wasn't really good.
You know, I'm not even gonna say nothing else. Just get me a hat, innit? Just get me a hat, bro. That's it. But all right, cool. So, how can we help you get to 200 subscribers and more? Where can people find you?
First step: RM Collective on YouTube. Simple as search up RM Collective and you'll find us. We'll top result. Then we are rm.collective on Instagram. That's where we show our little showcase clips. Like with each video we do on RM Collective, we edit a few social media format videos just to like highlight what's next up on the show and everything. And then Facebook as well, SoundCloud, RM Collective, both of them.
Nice.
And yeah, go over there. If you're artist looking to collaborate, then we have an email which is specified on all of our social media pages. So yeah, just find us on YouTube, Instagram, and SoundCloud.
Nice. Well, like I said, I've enjoyed this conversation. I appreciate you coming down, trekking down to come and sit down with me. So appreciate that. And as I say, I wish you and RM Collective all the best, man. I'll be closely watching the journey and hoping I'll be watching that subscriber count as well. Making sure it gets to that 200, man.
Then from there, the sky's the limit, honestly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Bro, well, Thank you very much, man.
Yeah. Cheers, Darren. Let's come on.
Thank you. Well, guys, another episode in the bag. Kai Edwards, co-founder of RM Collective People. As you've just heard, we need to get him to 200 subscribers. So, minimum 200 minimum. So make sure you head over to that YouTube channel and make sure you hit that subscribe button. Also, make sure you hit the subscribe button on this channel because that's a bit embarrassing.
I can't be seeing my subscribers like that. Yeah.
Make sure you hit the subscribe button on this channel because that's a bit of a magazine, you know. Come on, I mean, but hey, like I said, guys, if you're enjoying the content, please like, comment, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Let's grow the community. If you are watching on, or if you're listening on Apple Music, please don't forget to give me that 5-star rating. If you're listening on Spotify, please press that follow button. Do you got something else to say?
No, that's
Oh,
it.
sorry, I thought you were trying to get my attention.
No.
Sorry, I thought Kyle was trying to get my attention there.
No,
So yeah, guys, this has been another episode in the bag. Please, like I said as well, if you're looking for beard oil, you know, wooden hair combs, all that good stuff, make sure you head over to my guys at Goodman Factory. Put whatever you want in the basket, and make sure on checkout you type in discount code TBP21. And if you're a football fan, finally check out my other podcast, the Top Bins Pod. Well, for now, this has been the Blackprint. I've been your host, Bainey, joined by my lovely guest today, Kai Edwards.
Yeah, thank you very much.
So thank you once again. This has been the Blackprint. We'll catch you next week. Peace.